I knew that she wasn't allowed to tell me anything, but I knew something was wrong.
I knew that moment, that day, that I would get the phone call every parent hates to get.
And for a brief instant, we had totally lost hope. And what a feeling of despair that is.
I'm Howie Klausner. I'm a filmmaker. The family you're about to meet, the Elliots, moved me with a story like I don't think I've ever quite been moved in more than 20 years of writing and producing stories in my life. The pain of nearly losing a child to a disease, to a brain tumor, the pain of nearly losing everything financially that they had as a result of that, the pain of working till you couldn't stand up anymore to just put food on the table, just the wondering if you're going to make it to the next day, and the amount of hope that they brought to this perfect storm of circumstances. It wasn't easy, and they weren't always all happy about it, and I think they had their very angry moments with life and with God and with everybody else, and yet they hung together, and they never lost hope. And that's what I'm doing here. This is the film we want to make. Eric Hoovie Elliott is the freckle-faced all-American boy growing up in the Midwest at the beginning of the 21st century. Not that this place looks and feels much different than it did 50 years ago. This is farm country. It's God's country. And you better believe it's basketball country. Since he could walk, all Hoovie has ever dreamed of is playing basketball. And as the boy grew, we can see he has the gift. Not the fastest or the tallest. He just had that God-given gift for playing this game. The instinct, the jump shot, and the eyes of a champion. But the 16-year-old is struggling with those eyes. And his game at the beginning of his junior year, when tryouts begin for the legendary Olympia High, the second to last step in the dream of his life, playing college basketball, well, the vision is blurring. His balance just a tad off. And he knows that won't cut it here.
My time in the barn wasn't, as successful, wasn't as fun. I was getting headaches. I was, getting dizzy after trying to do a 360. And, as the coordination started to go, you started to wonder. And as you started getting sick to my stomach, you start to question a little bit more. And then all of a sudden I have double vision. And I can't tell which basket I'm shooting at. And that's really when we noticed that something really serious was happening.
I was the one taking him to all the doctor's appointments, trying to figure out, what is this? Why is he so sick? And why are the headaches there all the time? And, really to no solution. And so you finally get to the point where he was dealing with all this headache and this pain. And I don't know how you settle into thinking that that's just normal.
Then life took an unexpected turn.
It was back in 1999. The worst blizzard in 20 years had hit Illinois.
Hoovie is rushed to the hospital.
And I could see as the screen came up, the tech, her expression changed from one of, happy and talking with me to one of true concern. I knew something was wrong.
Turns out the diagnosis isn't good. Massive brain tumor.
As a mother, I knew that this was it. I knew, it all seemed to make sense now, that all those months of trying to figure out what was wrong with him, I knew that moment, that day, that I would get the phone call every parent hates to get.
This movie is based on a true story. A parent's worst nightmare come true. A child with a life-threatening illness, testing their faith, bringing the family to the brink of bankruptcy.
I think now, one of the things that we're supposed to do is tell the story.
One of my second to last basketball game, and it was at Wright College, and had just the game of my life. I scored 30 points, and I made the last second shot at the buzzer to win the game, to take us to the regional championship. I'm making basket after basket, and I'm thinking, what is going on here? And, when am I going to miss? This feeling, if you're an athlete, this feeling only comes once in a lifetime, and you're lucky if it ever comes. you dream about making that last second shot. That's what all those moments in the barn were all about.
This is the kind of story we all love. It's the story we all long for. It's the story we all say, why don't they make more stories like this? A story about faith, a story about hope, a story about family, a story about sports, with a happy ending that really, really happened.
I realized that I was so close to not having this life, and even tomorrow this life can be taken away from me, and I realized that. And I think that's one of the things that's this experience has taught me is, every day is a gift. Every day is a gift from God, and you really need to cherish it. Just love on your wife, love on your kids, love on your parents, and that's what I try to do.